so I can see the chat. Hello, everyone. Hello. Welcome to my channel. This is Teacher Cheri, and tonight we are going to have some fun. So if you could, please let me know in the chat if you can hear me and if you can see me, and then I will introduce my special guest today. As some of you may know, I also have a guest. Tonight we are going to have some fun in my classroom. That is my dog, and Chica is right here, so she may be joining us in a bit. But first, I want to make sure that you guys can hear me, so let me know. Saddam, hello. It's great to see you. Thanks for joining. I believe you're from the WhatsApp group. Thank you for joining. And Saddam is from Pakistan. Saddam, welcome. I'm going to introduce my guest. Shall we start first with, this is our guest, Chica, who is my puppy. She likes to join us in the classroom. And then, of course, the more important guest here is my daughter, Callie. So Callie has joined us. She is going to talk to us a little bit about some idioms. We were discussing this earlier today, and I wanted to share with you what she was thinking about idioms. So let's get started here in a few minutes. We'll see if anyone else joins us. Jess is here. Hi, Jess. It's great to see you. Thanks for joining us. We have a few others that have joined the chat. We'll see who is here, and I will welcome you. Today's lesson is going to be about idioms. We're going to learn 5 idioms today, and you can hopefully learn something from this so that you can amaze your friends by using some idioms in conversation. So Saddam, let me know, you said it's morning. What time is it where you are in Pakistan? What time is it? Is it really early in the morning? It is 9 o'clock, actually 9:01 p.m. here. Let us know in the chat. And I see we have several other visitors here. Natalie, hello. Callie, Natalie, this is my daughter, Callie. Natalie is a chemistry teacher. She is almost done with her training. And tell Natalie what you have. She has a big test on Friday. What is your big test in?
In biology.
So she has a biology test, and she's a little concerned about it. Isaiah, hello, Isaiah. Thanks for joining us. We are getting ready for our lesson here in a few minutes. And my puppy is running around making lots of noise, so I apologize for that. They always do things at the wrong time, right? So Saddam, it is 7 a.m. So at 7 a.m., what are you doing at 7 o'clock in the morning?
Sleeping.
Sleeping. So Callie, my puppy is running around making lots of noise. So I don't understand why my phone just sometimes does crazy things. So at 7 a.m., I am actually teaching online at 7 a.m. My last student is from 7 to 7:30 a.m., and then I finish my online teaching and head to my school for my day of teaching at my school. So Isaiah, good morning. It's great to see you. Again, this is Callie. She is our special guest for today. If you have just arrived, please let me know that you're here in the chat. Tell us where you're from so that we can welcome you to the lesson. We will get started here in a couple of more minutes. So Callie, what is your test about in biology?
Organic macromolecules.
Organic macromolecules. Well,
or something like that.
Natalie would probably be a great tutor for that. So Natalie, would you be interested in doing some tutoring? She is ready. She is a little concerned about her test on Friday. Javier, hello Javier, welcome to my channel. Tonight's lesson is going to be about idioms, and right now we have our dogs are all in our laps right now, and I have a guest with me this evening. This is my daughter Callie. She is going to join us for the lesson today. Isaiah is from Brazil. That's correct. Oh, I remember that. It is 11:03 at night in Brazil. Yes, Natalie says it's part of chemistry, so she's ready. She could teach you. All right, I think we're going to give it about 1 more minute and then we will go ahead and get started. I want you to be thinking about idioms that you have found yourself to wonder, what does that mean? And just like my little Bitmoji in the corner says, I don't get it, right? Idioms can be difficult to understand sometimes when it is used in a conversation. Native English speakers use idioms all the time. And so for that reason, it is very helpful to learn more about idioms so that you will understand when someone uses it in a conversation, and then you in turn can use an idiom as well. Idioms are great because they are short, but they provide a lot of information. So with just the usage of a few words, you can convey a big message. And so that's why idioms can be very useful. So let's go ahead and get started with our lesson. Thanks everyone for joining. And I'm curious how many of these idioms Callie knows, because teenagers are still learning English, and idioms are a form of higher language learning, and so often idioms are something that they don't understand. Idioms are something that are handed down from one generation to another. So the idioms that my parents use are different than the idioms that I use, and the idioms that she uses are often called more slang, and they're in the Urban Dictionary. And so it's very interesting to listen to what she knows, because I don't understand them either. So let's learn together about idioms. Here we have, I talked about native English speakers. They use idioms frequently during informal conversations. And idioms are great because they add color to a conversation. They make a story more interesting. They have an emotional value tied to them. And it's just a great way to add that color to your conversation. Javier says, like mother, like daughter. Well, she does have freckles, and I have freckles. Do you think we're very alike?
I don't know. I think in some ways, yeah, but then other ways we're very, very different.
Yes, I would agree with that wholeheartedly. I would say we are both very driven people, very motivated to accomplish things, but how we accomplish them are very different. So let's get started on our lesson about idioms. We will review 5 idioms today, so this lesson will be shorter, but we have time at the end to answer any questions that you might have about idioms. So let's get started with idiom number 1. Okay, so Callie, can you read the part of the boy and I'll read the part of the girl? Would that be okay?
Sure.
Okay.
Go on a date with me.
When pigs fly. So what does when pigs fly mean? Let's read it one more time so they can hear it.
Go on a date with me.
When pigs fly. So type in the chat box, what does the idiom when pigs fly mean? I can't wait to see what their answers are going to be. Do you know this idiom, Callie?
Mm-hmm. I've heard it a few times.
Okay, so she's heard it a few times. So she says yes, she knows what this idiom is. So share with us in the chat. What do you think the idiom when pigs fly? What does that mean? Okay. Do you see what Natalie said? Oh, Chica is being so bad today. Never. Lucio, welcome. Hello, Lucio. Nice to see you. Never happened. Never. I can't wait to see what everyone has to say, what your thoughts are. Saddam, what do you think? Isaiah, let me know. Jessica, if you're still here, I know you're a native speaker, so shh, hold on. You can add some information if you want to later. We'll give it just a moment and see if anyone else types. The lag between when we say something and when we get the response can be a little, it seems like it takes forever on our end, but I want to make sure that everybody who's here that wants to participate can do so. So the saying is, What does when pigs fly mean? Isaiah says never. I'm sorry I had to call on you, Isaiah. I'm like the teacher at school. Everybody's like, don't call on me, teacher. If I don't look at you, you're not going to call on me. Callie, do you do that?
All the time.
So where do you sit in the classroom?
Every single class I sit in the middle.
In the middle. So why do you sit in the middle?
Because that's where I was assigned.
Oh, she has an assigned seat, so it's not like she's trying to hide. Okay, so what do you think this idiom means, Callie?
It means that I will only do that, or that will only happen when the impossible happens.
Since pigs can't fly, I'm never going to go on a date with you. So it's never going to happen. So the answer, it's never going to happen. Never. You see what Lucio said? Well, there is that, right? So if someone really wanted to take another person out on a date, then I guess maybe you could show them that happening. So Javier says never. So isn't there, I'm not going to sing because you get in trouble on YouTube and my singing voice is terrible. But Taylor Swift, never going to happen.
Okay.
You and me are never, ever, ever getting back together. So, okay, let's continue with idiom number 2. Callie, would you please read this idiom nice and loud for us?
My dad is going to hit the roof.
My dad is going to hit the roof. So here we have a photo. My dad is going to hit the roof. My dad, Callie's grandfather, is actually a contractor, so he works on roofs. He's retired now, but he used to. So my dad is going to hit the roof. What is something that would cause your dad to hit the roof? Hold that thought. Type in the chat box what you think this idiom means. My dad is going to hit the roof. My dad is going to hit the roof. I think I've said this a few times when I was much younger. Let's see what our students have to say about this idiom, my dad is going to hit the roof. I can't wait to see what they have to say. Are you thinking about things that would cause your dad to hit the roof?
I don't know what it means.
Oh, okay, so here we go. Callie does not know what the idiom my dad is going to hit the roof means. So Isaiah says, be angry. Okay. No idea about this one. Lucio, that is okay. That's why we're here, right? We're all here to learn. Callie is 14, almost 15. She is, how many days away is your 15th birthday?
In a month and 3 days.
So a month and 3 days, she'll turn 15. And she does not know what this idiom means either. So you are not alone at all. Let's see if anyone else comes up with any ideas. We'll give it a few moments here. Isaiah says, be angry. So what do you think, Natalie? Any thoughts on that? Natalie, if you're still here. Saddam, what do you think? Let's see if anyone else has joined. I can actually remember the things that I did when I was younger that caused my dad to hit the roof. So, Callie, what do you think now reading Javier says, get angry? What now that reading what people have suggested, do you think you have a better understanding? Okay, so what things do you think you do that would cause your dad to hit the roof?
If I crashed the car.
Okay, so she says that if she wrecked the car, Callie is going to start driving next month when she turns 15, and she thinks that her dad would hit the roof if she crashed the car. And so for those of you who didn't know, the answer to this is hit the roof means the person is going to become angry. It looks like Isaiah's. Great job. You got the answer correct. Hit the roof means to get angry. All right, so you can share with us in the chat, what things do did you do when you were younger that caused your dad to hit the roof? Or maybe you didn't do anything that caused your dad to hit the roof. Maybe you always followed the rules. So let's continue. Idiom number 3. All right, Callie, will you read this one for us, please?
Okay. Every night I have big plans, but then I run out of steam.
So every night I have big plans, but then I run out of steam. Share what you think it means in the chat. And my son is off camera and he's jumping up and down saying, I know this one, I know this one. He is actually a non-native speaker himself. He was born in another country and learned English when he was a young child. So some of these idioms are difficult for him as well. Let's see what our students think about the idiom run out of steam. What does it mean to run out of steam? Every night I have big plans, but then I run out of steam. I wrote this thinking this is exactly what happens to me. Every day I'm like, oh, tonight I've got 5 hours. I'm going to do all of these things, get some things accomplished, and I run out of steam every time. This is the hard part, the waiting, right? Waiting is always hard. My son really wants to come on camera and answer this one. So Isaiah says, I have no idea. You know what? I am so glad to hear that. That means that you are going to leave this lesson learning something. And that is my goal. I want people to come to the channel to learn new information, to feel that it was interesting, and that you can then use it. So Javier says, happy early birthday.
Thank you.
I can't figure out what to get her for her birthday. I'm not really sure. All right, so I'll let you know what this means. Do you know what this means?
I have an idea.
Okay, so what is your idea?
That you just run out of energy and you just get very tired.
So that is correct. Run out of steam means that you lose your energy. Okay, so Andre says things going not as you expected. Good try. There is a saying that says A for effort. If you were to be graded, I'd give you an A for effort. And tired. Yes, you become tired. You get tired. You run out of steam. And this comes from actually the roots of this have to do with steam engines, just like I have here in the picture. So trains used to run on steam, and if they didn't have steam, that was the energy that allowed them to move down the tracks. Without steam, they weren't able to move. So if you run out of steam, you don't have any energy, you become tired. All right, let's move on to idiom number 4. All right, Callie, go ahead and read this one as well.
You are barking up the wrong tree.
You are barking up the wrong tree. Now, you don't know this, but Grandpa Paul used to say this all the time when I was a kid. So let me know what you think this means in the chat box. You are barking up the wrong tree. Now, it's not because there's a dog barking up a tree. Let's see what the students think about this one. You are barking up the wrong tree. Do you know what it means?
You want me to say it?
Let's give it a couple of minutes. I'm just asking. Do you know?
I think so.
Oh, Chica is being so bad tonight. She is a naughty dog tonight, a naughty puppy. Bear. Okay, so when you think someone could help you, but not when you ask for something. Okay. Great. Those are really good points. That is really close. So Javier, that is a good saying. Beats me. That in itself is like an idiom. Nobody's actually beating you. It means you don't know. That's a great one. So, Dwee, hi Dwee, great to see you. You can't climb. Tariq, it's great to see you here again. 2 nights in a row, I think. You are just doing something without benefits. To complain to the wrong person. Isaiah says to complain to the wrong person. And Natalie, I don't know how to type the answer. Okay, so that makes sense. So you know in your language, Natalie, but you're not sure how to type it in English. Asking for something, Lucio says, asking for something that will never be received. Okay, you guys are all, it's, what is the saying when someone is like really close? Can you think of an idiom that describes that you're really close but not quite?
In the ballpark?
Yes, you are all in the ballpark. You're all super close. But Natalie, there is a saying in Spanish. Ooh. I would like to know what that is in Spanish. I would love to hear that. So, for an example, when I was a teenager like Callie, a little older because I was driving my car, what do you need when you have a car to drive? You need to put gas in your car, right? And gas costs money. So, I had a job, but I often would run out of gas before I would get more money from my job. So I would have to go to my dad and say, Dad, can I please have some money for gas? And he would say, you are barking up the wrong tree. And what he meant was, I don't have any money to give you right now. You need to go ask your mom. So barking up the wrong tree means that you're not going to get what you want from that person. So really good answers here when you think someone can help you, but they can't. When you are complaining maybe to the wrong person, that would be accurate as well. In my example, I was asking my dad for money and he didn't have any to give me at the time. So he would say, you are barking up the wrong tree. My dad uses a lot of idioms. My dad I mentioned he is a contractor, but he's also a minister. And so he likes to use a lot of idioms in his language. And he is skilled at writing. And I think I get my creativity from my dad when it comes to words. Okay, so Tariq, right on. Excellent. All right, so guys, now we're going to move on to idiom number 5. And this was kind of mentioned earlier a little bit. Do you remember in the chat?
I don't remember.
So they said, sorry, students, I need to show her what was in the chat here. I can't see it now. Let's read it. The
apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. What do you think it means? And Andres, ding, ding, ding. You are on the right track. Let's see if some of our other students have some ideas on this idiom. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. I imagine there are many other languages that have a similar idiom to this. I think that idioms often have roots that are very old and they will be transferred from one language to another. Not easy to get something. So the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. So we're not talking about an actual apple falling from the tree. What we are talking about is that, let's say, I'm trying to think of a description for this one. What do you think?
Well, to me, at least, because when I hear it, it's normally in like a TV show or a movie, and it's used as an insult to say you're just like your parent.
Okay, so Monica, hello Monica. Monica's here. Isaiah, you have a similar saying in Brazil. Excellent. So yes, when someone usually uses this idiom, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, it's usually it's usually used in a way to say that you're like your parent, and it's usually not a positive way. So let's say my son does something, he gets in trouble at school for doing something bad, then it would be appropriate for someone to say the apple doesn't fall far from the tree if his dad used to get in trouble when he was in school. So that is an example of using the idiom, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. So I think if we were to use an example of Callie and I was skilled in the sport of volleyball. Volleyball was the sport that I performed. Probably it was my best sport from an athletic standpoint. Callie is also skilled in volleyball. So if someone knew that I could play volleyball well, and then they watched her play volleyball, they might say the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, because we both are skilled in the sport of volleyball. So let's talk about what idioms do you like to use, and more specifically, let's talk about idioms and how they might change over time. So I think my sister was here earlier. Jess, are you still here? Thrifting is my beach. If you're still here, Jess, if you could share with us in the chat, you had mentioned something about an idiom that you know that's changed over time. Yes, we have the same character. That is correct. Some of the same characteristics. Tell me, what idioms do you like to use, or what idioms do you have questions about? So, Callie, what idioms do you think that you use? And even if they're things that I don't understand, you could explain them maybe. Now, remember, we need to be appropriate.
Yeah, I know.
Because teenagers aren't always appropriate in their choice of language. We do try to teach our children to use appropriate language, though. What do you think?
I can't really remember what I say, because when I talk,
you don't think about it.
I
just
don't think
comes
about
out.
it.
And that's the thing with idioms. It would be the same way if I were to speak Spanish and I was trying to use an idiom. Spanish is not my native language. I can speak some Spanish, so I would have to really put thought into it. Whereas when I'm speaking English, it just comes out. So Jessica, thanks Jess. Jess is talking about spill the beans. Okay. And to each their own. Good. So spill the beans is an idiom that, what do you think spill the beans means? If somebody says, Callie, spill the beans.
Just like if you've been caught in a lie or something, and then they're just like, okay, just tell the truth.
Yes. So spill the beans means tell the truth, give me the information, what's going on. Jessica mentioned that spill the beans is now spill the tea. Spill the tea. And so that has kind of evolved over time. Monica says that you're funny. And Andres, to each their own. Do you know what to each their own means? To each their own. I like that one as well. To each their own means that everyone has their own way of doing things, and let's not judge another person. To each their own. I often will say, you do you and I'll do me.
I say that a lot. I just like, okay, you do you.
You do you. You do you. Y-O-U. D-O-Y-O-U. You do you. Means you do what you want and I will do what I want. We're all living our lives the way we feel is appropriate. So I like that one. All right, so we have some other idioms. I want to share a couple. So Netflix, right? Now, this is one that is it's on the inappropriate edge, but we often hear Netflix and chill. Well, it means a couple of different things. Netflix and chill can mean, doesn't it mean a couple of different things? Okay, to someone like myself, it means one thing, and to younger people, it means something else. And I know it means both things, but initially I think it meant let's hang out and watch Netflix, but now it means other things. Let's watch Netflix and we'll see what else happens. So Netflix and chill is something that you hear younger people use fairly regularly. Can you think of any other idioms that you use? And ask any questions if you guys have any questions about any other idioms. We're getting ready to wrap up the lesson here shortly. Oh, goodness. Sorry. That's super loud.
She scared me. I can't think of anything.
All right. Well, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. Let's give it like another minute and see if anybody else has any questions. Let me know if anyone has any questions. And someone just came home, so my dogs are going to bark. That's one thing they like to do when people come over. They let us know that there's someone walking on the door, which is good. It's a security, free security. Well, not free. Dogs are expensive, but I don't have an alarm system. So if anyone doesn't have any questions, I want to remind you to please subscribe to my channel below. If you're watching the playback, you can answer the questions. And also there will be homework posted tomorrow. So check back tomorrow for homework for this lesson, and I will respond to each person's homework. Callie, I want to say thank you for joining me. Thank you to all of you for joining me today. And you can learn English too. Work hard, be patient with yourself, and be kind to one another. Have a great rest of your week. Goodbye. I need to stop the live stream, end stream, and